Ashtar, incoming energies are upgrading consciousness. Ashtar, incoming energies are upgrading consciousness. It is Ashtar, and it's such an honor to know that you've recognized and felt my presence. There are many beings that are lining up to share and iterate messages that speak to all of you. What we simply wish for you to know is to sit tight, hang tight, for the energies are going to be wild. They have already been wild for some time. Keep in mind the backdrop of incoming energies are here to help humanity release what they need to release. Those that resist releasing may experience some of these deeper lows, and those who have already been doing their work, those who in the very least listen to their heart and to pay closer attention to their emotions will find that they will better navigate these highs and lows. The ambient energies, and those of the collective, will also be felt, so remember to keep your light shields strong. Ask that the information that you need to know can permeate those shields, while still keeping your own energy intact while connected to the collective to assist the collective without shouldering these energies, for it will be intense. An energetic alignment will unfold. We simply wish for you to know, as we are showing Kate, there is a beautiful alignment. There have been a series of celestial alignments. But there is an alignment of a different sort. It is more of an energetic alignment, and it is an alignment where Earth is in many ways coming into a fuller and clearer, or more unobstructed, view with the galactic center. As a result of this, the incoming energies do not need to pass through any other celestial body. There is no circumventing involved. It is in many ways a direct hit. And as a result, this is what will create a wild ride. But remember that even the wildest rides always end up in a level of restabilization, and this will be a restabilization that will look and feel different for everyone. Nonetheless, it is exactly where each individual needs to be. Nonetheless, for the vast majority of those who will not resist these energies, there will be a leveling up, an energetic upgrade. And how individuals move into this upgrade is largely up to them, and how much support they are open to receiving. How much they tune into their own feelings, their own needs, how much they heed their own internal compass to do what is right for them. Consciousness upgrades, but there are those within the collective who perhaps may not respond or react to these energies this time around. Yet remember, the universe unfolds in a way that beautifully supports the expansion of all beings. So if they are not on board this time, eventually those individuals will come around in a way that even up-levels them to a playing field that will allow their consciousness to be even a little more open than in the past. The goal here, the objective for humanity, is an ongoing, gradual opening and expansion of consciousness. Our friends, this is different for everyone. For everyone to expand their consciousness does not mean that everyone will align in their political ideologies, nor in their beliefs, but it is an up-leveling of consciousness that they need to connect with at a soul level. This is part of their blueprint or their energetic signature that carries them into an experience that represents a progression. How to support yourself and others. It is important not to judge how others react or respond to these energies, not to have any set expectations or attachments as to what an expanded form of consciousness looks like in those around you. It is different for everyone. Simply hold space for all those by lending a compassionate ear, by encouraging them to listen to their heart. For this is, in essence, what humanity is learning to do more fully and consistently. Listen to your hearts versus perhaps the stirring of your conscious minds. Listen to your feelings versus what the ego mind drives you to do. It is about learning to discern with greater observation, at a deeper level, about what is right for you. When you choose to move from a place of love, in essence, you are creating an energy, a synergy between you and all other beings that essentially catapults the collective into a higher way of being. This is simply the trajectory of humanity, and so it is going to be exciting. It is going to be intense. There will be much that comes to the surface. It will not all appear to be easy and pleasant, but simply remember that some individuals need energies and experiences mirrored back to them so that they can better recognize what needs to be healed, resolved, and understood within them, and how to step up into a place of greater love, compassion, and acceptance. The more you become accustomed to navigating these energies, the easier it becomes, and in turn, the easier it becomes for you to support those who are perhaps uneasy with these energies. And we wish you happiness and joy. Thank you. The Galactic Federation. Thoughts from your Hostess of Light. Rise from the past. As we move closer to the boundaries of time, our very human heart of divine proportion becomes fractalized, showing us the many pieces of the past, the future, and all things in between. Adjectives, adverbs, and a few pronouns rise from the past, making their way into our thoughts as we continue to explain ourselves to ourselves. Everything comes to corral us into a place of seeing 360 degrees stationary. Everything Tom, Dick, and Harry now comes as a simulated reminder of that which we have not dealt with, what we have not finished, what we have not cleared from our heart. Everything we swept under the bed, under the carpet, and under the past, now is brought to the surface by an emotional haboo, sandstorm, causing emotional dust particles, sinus stuff/third eye opening. To activate. Seasonal healing comes to the surface, as the leaves of old change color and denomination, releasing themselves in a beautiful flight, and a new pattern of destiny. The collective of all that is within, asks to be healed, needs to be forgiven, and needs to be loved into freedom, like freeing a clutch of baby dragons on their first day of flight, knowing in your heart it is their destiny to be guardians of the sky. As dimensional fractures become an everyday initiation laced with earthly teachings, we find ourselves sailing down new corridors of time, without a GPS, or any oars. What was long sought within self, within history, and text, now slowly shifts, sidestepping the laws of expectations and physics. We all have become navigators in patterns of new dimensional light. Like light slowly dimming in a great banquet hall, one does not always feel or sense the change when sitting still in the arms of time. Humanity has developed an innate ability that allows them to see into the past and future while writing the now. Each experience is decoded with a different encryption using a different reference point. We all come around a blind corner as we move our awareness into the last 3 months of 2024. Everything now mirrors what we need to address most, to heal most, to remember the most. Some days we just want to just stay home and close the drapes of our souls, but life demands active participation, and she always gets what she wants. So many truths from so many lifetimes come to torment us, parading naked around our subconscious. Every thought, every word, and every action alters the universal presentation and permeation of the pixels of life. Thoughts from your Hostess of Light. Rise from the past. As we move closer to the boundaries of time, our very human heart of divine proportion becomes fractalized, showing us the many pieces of the past, the future, and all things in between. Adjectives, adverbs, and a few pronouns rise from the past, making their way into our thoughts as we continue to explain ourselves to ourselves. Everything comes to corral us into a place of seeing 360 degrees stationary. Everything Tom, Dick, and Harry now comes as a simulated reminder of that which we have not dealt with, what we have not finished, what we have not cleared from our heart. Everything we swept under the bed, under the carpet, and under the past, now is brought to the surface by an emotional haboo, sandstorm, causing emotional dust particles, sinus stuff/third eye opening. To activate. Seasonal healing comes to the surface, as the leaves of old change color and denomination, releasing themselves in a beautiful flight, and a new pattern of destiny. The collective of all that is within, asks to be healed, needs to be forgiven, and needs to be loved into freedom, like freeing a clutch of baby dragons on their first day of flight, knowing in your heart it is their destiny to be guardians of the sky. As dimensional fractures become an everyday initiation laced with earthly teachings, we find ourselves sailing down new corridors of time, without a GPS, or any oars. What was long sought within self, within history, and text, now slowly shifts, sidestepping the laws of expectations and physics. We all have become navigators in patterns of new dimensional light. Like light slowly dimming in a great banquet hall, one does not always feel or sense the change when sitting still in the arms of time. Humanity has developed an innate ability that allows them to see into the past and future while writing the now. Each experience is decoded with a different encryption using a different reference point. We all come around a blind corner as we move our awareness into the last 3 months of 2024. Everything now mirrors what we need to address most, to heal most, to remember the most. Some days we just want to just stay home and close the drapes of our souls, but life demands active participation, and she always gets what she wants. So many truths from so many lifetimes come to torment us, parading naked around our subconscious. Every thought, every word and every action alters the universal presentation and permeation of the pixels of life, a message from the One, Bamboozled. It is the One. Thank you. You are walking in perilous star times. History will report these coming days as some of the most challenging for your entire world. It does not matter who you are, or where you make your home, you feel this. Today, let us engage in conversation around human expectation versus human life. As you move into this next phase of your journey, you will be challenged and prompted to adjust. You've come to expect to be cared for in relationships of all kinds. While your expectations may be reasonable in personal, family, and intimate relationships, they don't hold truth when extended out into the rest of the world with whom you interact. This time of disclosure now is showing you, again and again, the motivation behind corporate, systemic and world players with whom you engage. These would be your governments, institutions of commerce, medical establishments, and most industries for humanity's care. It becomes necessary for discernment in every arena. The race has been more or less bamboozled by beauty, wealth, and power. These attributes have risen to the top of desired goals and monopolized the purposes for human engagement. All of this was intentional. It will have to be undone. This will not be popular at first or easily accomplished. There are many still who grow up lusting for these things. You'll discover on your journey of awakening that words and looks are shallow in comparison to action. It is actions that announce meaning. Many hideous deeds are completed with a smile. You have come to this moment in order to assist, as well as experience, a global unearthing and awakening. You, who have been here numerous times, recognize truth. You are deeply activated by pure love. Part of your reason for being here now is to elevate and enhance truth. It is your light that illuminates it once it is elevated. It then becomes visible and accessible to the masses. It is an awesome responsibility. You are fighting against massive structures of media and control. You are armed with truth and fortified with love. This means, dear human, that you will not ever be depleted. It means that your source is eternal. You may find the challenge more difficult on some days than on others. Yet, you will not be defeated. Your love is solid, and somehow you will sense a resurfacing of it. It is always waiting to show you the way. My dear human, what is happening now is a turning of a page. You find yourselves willingly leaving what was written there behind you. This, as you pick up the pen and write the next chapter. This part may be shaky at first. It will feel a bit like riding a two-wheeled bicycle for the first time. It will be wobbly, and you may fall a few times. The thing to remember is the purpose. The thing to hold on to always is the goal. You'll do this with intent. Each interaction, every day, aim to spread some light. There is no place where love is not the preferred emotion. There is no event that cannot be improved with compassion. These things are your calling cards. You arrived with boxes of them, and have had them stored for just the right moment. I tell you that moment is now. I tell you that each time you leave a calling card of love behind, someone picks it up and passes it on. There are no futile endeavors. We began today talking about expectations. We will complete our discussion by requesting that you let them go. For expectations depend on some outside other to fulfill. You are up to the doing. It is upon you to write the story. The drama of these last pages has no power over what comes next. You are the writers, the architects, the artists, the creators. Indeed, you are the builders. This is what you came for, and the world you live in is ripe for what you have to offer. Spread your calling cards of love, light, and truth freely. Act as if the supply is eternal. For indeed it is. You have arrived now to ensure that every corner of the earth is illuminated. It is time to shine, dear human. As you do, the darkness scurries and scrambles for places to continue. You pledge to spread your light so far that there will be no dark places remaining. This is why you find yourselves in every country, continent, town, and neighborhood. You are needed everywhere. Remember your light. You are a beacon for truth. These next pages will be written with pure love. That love emanates from your core. As you proceed, everywhere you look on this new earth will be a reflection of who you are. It is time to come out from hiding. Dear human, it is time. That is all. Thank you. The definition of this word includes the synonym serious, unhealthy, threatening as well as risky or dangerous. I was curious about the word use here, and almost changed it. Yet as I considered its use here, it feels like a reference to the gravity of the moment in time we traverse together, a reminder not to take anything lightly, and that our thoughts, words, and actions have far-reaching consequences. The perilous part here is what could happen if we ignore the signs all around us, reminding us to seize the day every day, and instead think, speak, or act carelessly. Here was not a reference to a location, as in Earth. It refers to the place we are spiritually. We are on the cusp of awakening. Tune in and listen. As much as the shift accelerators are pushing us to the next levels, let us remember that one single step forwards into the new earth is worth 9. We need to learn to take more time, to envision, to dream, to meditate, to listen, to go for long walks in nature, and to just allow our innate creative centers to be fully activated now. I am finding that listening to bird songs lately brings a great stirring in my soul. Their songs have risen in frequency, and they are angelic in nature. The same applies to songs of the waters and seas. The whisper of the wind, the beautiful of synchronized natural sound and colors will lift you in a much high state. So will listening to high-frequency music in the different solfeggio frequencies, singing bowls, gongs, while certain human voices carry high-frequency over and undertones now, which activate our tuning forks within our spines. Start to close your eyes when in nature. Learn to listen, listen, listen. Your own soul songs will rise, as will have sudden inspiration, messages, insight, visions. I do this, touching the rocks, tuning into them as they are event recorders and store energy records of all life and life forms. Here in Africa you find rock gongs which chime, and they are all tuned in, and communicate with each other. Trees are wisdom keepers and are constantly in communication with each other. When elephants or other animals eat too much leaves and break off too many branches, the tree will signal to other tree, and their leaves will get so bitter that the elephant will move on. Life and the life forces are present everywhere, visible and invisible. Add to this the elementals. As a child I was playing and communicating with them and the angels, and I always invite them to tend to my plants, and thank them, and bless them as well as Mother Earth, and all the elements as well. When you tune in, your intuitive and psychic centers are fully activated, and you can then see, hear, sense, and feel what you could not before. We are being tuned in on so many levels now, so that we become as one again with all that is, from the heart and soul. sorceryoflight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light, click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.